Tragedy struck the Indonesian aviation sector once again as a passenger aircraft disappeared from radar shortly after takeoff from Jakarta. The flight, carrying 62 people, including 7 children and 3 infants, lost contact while climbing over the Java Sea. Within hours, the Indonesian government mobilized a massive search and rescue operation centered near the Thousand Islands. The suddenness of the event has left the nation in shock as families gathered at Soekarno-Hatta International Airport, desperate for any news regarding their loved ones. This initial phase of the operation is critical, focusing on locating the wreckage and survivors amidst the debris field already surfacing on the water's murky exterior. Emergency pings and eyewitness accounts from local fishermen are providing the first clues in this race against time. Searching the Indonesian archipelago presents unique geographical hurdles. The Java Sea, while relatively shallow at an average depth of 40 to 50 meters, is characterized by strong underwater currents and seasonal monsoon weather that can severely limit visibility. The search area spans several nautical miles across the Thousand Islands chain, where the seabed is a complex mix of mud and silt. These conditions make it difficult for divers to navigate and for sonar equipment to distinguish aircraft parts from natural rock formations. Furthermore, the tropical climate brings sudden afternoon storms, which frequently force search vessels to pause their operations, adding layers of complexity to an already high-stakes mission. Understanding these environmental factors is vital to appreciating the scale of the effort underway. To penetrate the depths, the Indonesian Navy and search agencies are utilizing sophisticated technology. Side-scan sonar is being deployed to map the ocean floor in high resolution, looking for metallic anomalies that indicate the aircraft's fuselage. Specialized pinger locators are also in use, tuned to the specific frequencies emitted by the black boxes, the flight data recorder, and the cockpit voice recorder. Once a high-interest area is identified, remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs, are sent down to capture live video footage. These underwater drones allow coordinators on the surface to inspect wreckage without risking human lives in the early, more dangerous stages of debris identification. This blend of acoustic technology and robotics is the backbone of modern recovery effort. Air disasters often trigger a global humanitarian response, and this incident is no exception. While the Indonesian National Search and Rescue Agency, or Basarnas, leads the operation, they are supported by international partners. Singapore and Australia have provided specialized hydrographic survey ships and underwater search teams. The United States and other nations have offered satellite imagery and technical expertise in data analysis. This cooperation is essential for cross-referencing radar data and ensuring that no part of the search grid is overlooked. The sharing of resources, from deep-sea divers to advanced pinger locators, demonstrates a unified front in aviation safety and the collective commitment to finding answers for the families involved and the global aviation community. At the heart of the recovery are the elite divers of the Indonesian Navy's Frogman Command and the Rescue Office. These men and women face grueling conditions, diving into dark, pressurized environments where visibility can drop to nearly zero. They work in shifts, meticulously combing through the wreckage to recover personal effects, aircraft parts, and, most importantly, the remains of the victims. Every piece of debris recovered is a potential clue for investigators. The physical toll is immense, requiring strict decompression protocols and mental resilience. These divers are often the ones who find the critical components, such as the flight recorders, buried deep in the mud. Their dedication is the most visceral element of the search, representing the human drive to provide closure. Once items and remains are brought to the JICT-2 port, the focus shifts to the Disaster Victim Identification, or DVI, process. Forensic experts, including pathologists and DNA specialists, work around the clock to identify the victims. This involves comparing DNA samples from family members with remains recovered from the sea. Families are provided with psychological support at crisis centers, as the waiting game is often the most agonizing part of the tragedy. The identification process is slow and methodical to ensure 100% accuracy, providing families with the certainty they need for burial rites. The port becomes a somber place of transit, where every identified bag represents a step toward honoring those lost in the accident. As the search concludes, the work of the National Transportation Safety Committee, or KNKT, begins in earnest. The recovery of the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder is the holy grail for investigators. These devices contain thousands of parameters, including airspeed, altitude, engine performance, and the final conversations between the pilots. Experts in Jakarta download this data to reconstruct the final moments of the flight. They look for mechanical failures, weather-related issues, or human error. This investigation isn't about assigning blame, but about preventing future occurrences. The preliminary report, usually released within 30 days, provides the first official look into what went wrong, helping the global aviation industry update safety protocols and training modules. Indonesia has a challenging history with aviation safety, given its rapid industry growth and difficult terrain. However, the last decade has seen significant improvements. The country successfully moved from Category 2 to Category 1 in the FAA's safety rating, and saw the lifting of European Union bans on its carriers. Each crash, while tragic, leads to tighter regulations, more rigorous pilot training, and better maintenance oversight. The current search and rescue capabilities are far more advanced than they were 20 years ago, reflecting a national commitment to safety. This event serves as a somber reminder of the work that still needs to be done. Continued investment in infrastructure and technology remains a top priority for the Indonesian Ministry of Transportation. As we conclude our look into the search efforts, we remember the lives lost and the tireless work of those trying to find them. The response to an Indonesian plane crash is a complex operation involving thousands of people, cutting-edge tech, and international diplomacy. Beyond the logistics and the data, it is a story of human resilience and the pursuit of truth. The lessons learned from this investigation will eventually make the skies safer for everyone. We hope for peace for the families and a future where such tragedies are increasingly rare. Thank you for joining us for this objective look at current events. Stay informed, stay curious, and always look for the deeper story behind the headlines.